Introducing your new Dell PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps you handle a lot, even when your holiday to-do list gets to be a lot. Because it's built with all-day battery, plus powerful AI features that help you do it all with ease. From editing images, to drafting emails, to summarizing large documents, to multitasking. So you can organize your holiday shopping, and make custom holiday decor, and search for great holiday deals, and respond to holiday requests, and customer questions, and customers requesting custom things, and plan the perfect holiday dinner for vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and Uncle Mike's carnivore diet. Luckily, you can get a PC that helps you do it all faster, so you can get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside, backed by Dell's price match guarantee. Get yours today at Dell.com/holiday. Terms and conditions apply. See Dell.com for details.
Rinse takes your laundry and hand-delivers it to your door, expertly cleaned and folded. So you could take the time once spent folding and sorting and waiting to finally pursue a whole new version of you. Like Tea Time You. Or this Tea Time You. Or even this Tea Time You.
Said you hear about Dave?
Or even Tea Time You.
So update on Dave.
It's up to you. We'll take the laundry. Rinse. It's time to be great.
This is Optimal Finance Daily. Buy your freedom, rent the rest. By FIRECracker with JLCollinsNH.com. Beware the white van. What's the most dangerous thing on the road? A drag racer? A Humvee? An 18-wheeler tractor trailer? Nope, nope, and nope. The real answer? A white van. Let me explain. You see, before we became financially independent and retired early to travel the world, we lived in a tiny, remote Canadian town called Toronto. And even though our car-owning coworkers who spent freely and lavishly told us, oh, you can't possibly not have a car in Toronto, and feel free to replace Toronto with most any major North American city, we knew better. In fact, we knew we could ride the subways and buses, walk to many of our favorite places for a tiny fraction of what it cost our friends to own a car. So instead of owning, we joined a car sharing service called Enterprise Car Share, which lets you sign out cars hourly. The car lot was conveniently located only a 5-minute walk from where we lived. And that decision would prove its worth on a deceivingly beautiful day in April. We were heading back to our rented flat, sensing a pattern here after picking up our groceries. But just as we were about to turn into our driveway, a white van swerved and smashed into us. It happened so fast, I didn't have time to blink. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and when the cops arrived, they even joked, "Hey, at least the beer is okay," gesturing to the case in our trunk. Surveying the damage, the police quickly pieced together what had happened. The car that hit us was a delivery van, driven by a 60-year-old Greek dude who got impatient, crossed over the median, and tried to pass us on the wrong side of the road. Legal scholars may recognize this as a classic case of, say what? But somehow, once the insurance companies got involved, the accident got ruled 50% our fault. Because the car was a rental, the insurance that came with our car share membership covered everything, and we didn't even need to wait for the car to be fixed. We were up and running with a new car the very next day. Had we owned, we would have had to pay $10,000 to get it fixed. The insurance would have covered it, but our premiums would have gone up, especially since the accident was 50% at fault. By using a group insurance plan through the car share, our insurance stayed at a ridiculously affordable $45 a year. And by using car sharing, we only paid a $125 one-time sign-up fee and $10.25 an hour for the rental car. Since we used the car only a couple of times a month, 2 hours every 2 weeks for groceries, that adds up to a minuscule $551 a year or $46 a month over 9 years. No extra cost for gas or maintenance, and no need to worry about depreciation. We can get a brand spanking new car every time with no added stress or cost. So the accident taught us 3 things that day. Don't own a car, use car sharing instead, and never trust a white van. Now, whenever we see a white van, Wanderer glares at it suspiciously while humming the theme from Jaws, and I immediately dive into the nearest bush. What we've learned about car sharing applies to housing as well. Because we rented and invested instead of owning a place in Toronto, we came out way ahead with a 7-figure portfolio and the option to retire early and travel the world. Had we bought an expensive house, most of our hard-earned cash would have been eaten away by housing costs. And this is why we're committed renters, both with housing and cars. Renting lets you get ahead because you don't need to take the financial risk to maintain a physical asset. You're also less stressed and you have more flexibility because your costs are always predictable. No surprise roof repairs, no hurricanes threatening to destroy your life savings, no accidents totaling your car and skyrocketing your insurance premiums. Stress-free and predictable. That's the key to freedom. Now, I can hear a lot of keys clamoring and angry people fighting to justify their own situation, saying that renting isn't always better. And you know what? I get it. If you live in a city with crappy public transportation, it's a lot more challenging to get around without a car. And in some cities with reasonable housing prices, not Toronto or Vancouver, it can be cheaper to own than rent. But if you live in a city with a half-decent public transit system, ditch the car and use car sharing instead. You'll save a ton of money, decrease your stress, and be super fit if you switch it up with walking and biking. Similarly, if you live in a city with affordable housing, meaning the monthly rent is 1% or more of the cost of the house, buying might not be a horrible idea. The problem is, most of the time people buy blindly under the wrong assumption of renting is throwing your money away, and therefore owning always beats renting. Not true. And in fact, that belief is why most people can't seem to get ahead. The costs of owning are way higher than people think, and the worst part of these expenses is that they're often unexpected. A car will slide into a snowbank, or a roof will spring a leak seemingly out of the blue, and then bam, you're out thousands and thousands of dollars. In fact, we keep hearing from our readers wondering why they keep getting hit with financial emergencies seemingly every month. This is why. When you rent and something breaks, it's someone else's problem to fix. But when you own, it's yours. And so it becomes really easy for a string of stuff going wrong to bleed away your money until you wake up 10 years later and wonder why you haven't gotten any further ahead. Instead, rent. You'll have a lot less stress, a lot more money, and way more freedom. Oh, and also, watch out for white vans. You just listened to the post titled, Buy Your Freedom, Rent the Rest by FIRECracker with JLCollinsNH.com.
Imagine you're a business owner who has to rely on a dozen different software programs to run your company. Each one is expensive, overly complicated, and worst of all, none of them are connected. Now imagine a platform that could tackle all of your business management needs in one place. That platform you're imagining? It's Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on a single, simple, easy-to-use software, giving you peace of mind that your business is always being taken care of from every angle. Odoo assists in accounting, marketing, inventory, HR, CRM, manufacturing, and everything in between through its user-friendly interface and open-source applications. Basically, if your business needs it, Odoo's got it. Odoo sounds pretty amazing, right? So stop wasting your time and money on those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. It doesn't get much better than that. So what are you waiting for? Discover how Odoo can take your business to the next level by visiting odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo, modern management made simple.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
FIRECracker made some compelling points here on the rent versus buy debate. And while I don't disagree with any of it, Just like anything else with personal finance, there's no right answer. The answer typically is, it depends. I'm reminded of an interesting New York Times article I saw recently that stated that the top 10% of the wealthiest households own nearly 90% of the stocks in America, while those in the bottom 90% own a little more than half of all the real estate in America. It's typically assumed that owning property, and for many people this will be their primary residence, is the best way to build wealth. But again, it all depends. I never thought I would own a home, but I found when I moved to Cincinnati that it's cheaper to own than rent here. I was able to buy a house well below my means at just $150,000. I also don't feel stuck here. If I decided to move, I'd likely rent out this house and definitely assess the rentability of this place before I bought it. I rented for over 10 years, and in New York City, it was typical for my rent to rise $100 or more every year. Pair that with landlords who weren't responsive to repairs or didn't take care of their properties, I got a bit burned out on renting. I also found it difficult to rent with a dog. Owning a home is such a personal choice, but when you fuel that choice by analyzing the numbers and evaluating your unique circumstances, you're sure to make the best choice for you. And that will do it for another edition of Optimal Finance Daily. Thank you for listening, and be sure to come back tomorrow for more, where optimal life awaits.